Breathe better and sleep deeper with the Levoit Classic 160 Top Fill Humidifier. Don't wait. Check out the link in the video description to get your Levoit Top Fill Humidifier on Amazon today and enjoy a healthier, more comfortable home. Folks at iPad Focus, welcome back to another epic episode of exploring the history that shaped the world we know today. You're about to dive into a fascinating story that took place 15 years ago when Apple revolutionized the tablet space with the introduction of their iconic first-generation iPad. On January 27, 2010, Steve Jobs took the stage at the Yerba Buena Center for the Arts in San Francisco and unveiled this groundbreaking device. He described it as being halfway between a smartphone and a laptop, offering a larger display than its iPhone counterpart, but without the complexity of a traditional laptop. The iPad's release marked a turning point in the history of technology, and at iPad Focus, we're excited to dive into the details of what made this device so revolutionary. So, let's start with the specs. The first-generation iPad featured a 9.7-inch LED display with a resolution of 1024x 768 pixels. Paired with an Apple A4 processor that provided solid performance at the time. The battery life was impressive, lasting up to 10 hours on a single charge. And, as you might expect from any Apple device, the price point was relatively competitive, starting at $499. Now, we all know how Steve Jobs loved to hype up his products, and this one was no exception. He called it magical and revolutionary, a phrase that's become synonymous with Apple's brand promise. And while not everyone shared that enthusiasm back then, with time, applications began to emerge that took full advantage of the iPad's larger display. Suddenly, it became clear that this wasn't just another device. It was a game changer. Fast forward to today, and we can see the impact of Steve Jobs' vision. The iPad has evolved into an incredibly powerful tool for both work and play. It's become synonymous with creativity, learning, and productivity. From student laptops to professional workstations, the iPad has proven itself as an indispensable device in many industries. It's also worth noting that Apple didn't stop there. Over the years, they've continued to innovate and improve their iPads, introducing new features like support for the Apple Pencil and keyboards. And while we're on the topic of competitors, at iPad Focus, we love exploring how others have tried to follow in Apple's footsteps. The impact of Steve Jobs' vision can still be felt today. The iPad has inspired a whole new market segment, with many manufacturers trying to create their own tablets. But let's not forget that it was this original device that set the bar so high, an example of how technology can be both intuitive and accessible for everyday use. That's all for today's episode of iPad Focus. Thanks for joining us on this journey through time as we celebrated the 15-year anniversary of Apple's groundbreaking first-generation iPad. Until next time, when we'll explore more stories from the world of tech, stay tuned.